Hey guys, Jonathan here, and I'm at Ace Hardware in Delaware, the USA, to check out what tools have they got here, anything special, quirky, US made, we don't have in England. Let's go and have a look.
And something a little bit new for us, this is our very first video sponsor, Surfshark VPN. They helped make this video possible, so big thank you to them, and more on them later in the video.
In Milwaukee already, that's a good sign. How cool are they? In hardware stores, must be for taking your stuff around. Not quite a Stanley Cup, but maybe they're better. $42? That's a flipping beast. First bit of tools. That's cool. Oh, here we go. The ram set again. Powder actuated. Beastie nail gun. Very tempting. Clever little thing. I don't think we've got them in England either. Let's hope you figure out what thread you've got. Lots of cool stuff, but lots of it I think we've got and I recognise. I don't think I've seen that before. Wallpaper scraper thing. Anything jumping out, anything jumping out. I like these kind of quirky tools. $5. And is that the answer to putting cork straight without using masking tape? Or is that the answer? Or is that the answer? Are they better than the finger though? I'm not sure. That one goes on a cork gun, which is pretty cool. So that's the first quirky item. Flex seal back on the case. Lots of damage of all different types.
That's a lot of damage!
Another one. I love these little things that are hanging on the sides. Multifunction carrier, Boxtown team, made in the US. That's cool. $10. Some of these eyes I can tell don't have any tools in. Sniff out a tool a mile off. Torches. They just catch your eye, the quirky things, don't they? Hair clog. The drain weasel. What a thing. Flipping drain weasel. There he is, the man himself. I'm not sure about cutting that in foam, but that is awesome. The drain weasel, plus some more drain weasels over here. I think the drain weasel can go here. Are they tools? They're quirky. That's a bit of something, isn't it? Tiny little continuity tester. Oh, it's got a crocodile clip on one side. Super tiny. I wonder if it's the same as that one there. This one's a voltage tester, and that one's continuity. $6 for that flipping tiny thing. I think we get those. Could be a handy little thing for a compact toolkit. Flexible tube cutter. We've got a few of those. That's a mad looking thing. Do you recognise one of those? Basket strainer wrench. That's a pretty cool thing. It's the only one that's got a made in the USA flag on it. Mini hacksaw. Just a weird shape. Saves a bit of room though in a compact kit. And it's a different brand. Made in the US. Quirky. Let's have it.
Now before I fly back to the UK, I just wanted to take the time to thank our sponsor for this video, Surfshark VPN. They helped make it possible. Now Surfshark VPN has thousands of different server locations all around the world that you can connect to, so your internet thinks you're in that location. And it's actually a very useful sponsor for this video because obviously, as you've seen, I often fly around the world looking for quirky tools and innovations, and when I'm in a hotel room after a long day of tool tourism, there's nothing I like more than to watch a film on streaming. So I'm in the US this week and logged onto Netflix to watch one of my all-time favourites, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. No such luck though, it wasn't available on US Netflix. Now all I had to do with Surfshark was connect to their UK server and bosh, it's right there ready to watch. Netflix thinks I'm in the UK and it'll show me all the UK movies. And if you didn't know, each country gets a different selection of Netflix movies. So you actually get a whole different selection if you change your server location to another country. So that was a bit of a new one on me, but I did discover that through Surfshark, so that's fantastic. Now it's super fast, secure, it blocks unwanted ads. If you guys aren't satisfied, it has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So make sure to click the link in the description below, check them out, and if you're interested, use the code SHADOWFOAM for 4 months free. With all that said, let's get back to Ace Hardware.
This Milwaukee branding, I've seen this a couple of times now. Is that the real Milwaukee? Totally different logo. Maybe we need to find out about that. No, that's something quirky. That's a DeWalt toolbox I don't recognise. Pro organiser. It says it's stackable, but doesn't say if it goes with a T-stack. Doesn't look like a tough system. Bet we don't have an insert though. Eklund. Now we did get some Eklund stuff from Tools and More, so I don't think we need any more. Oh look, they sell the metric on the road. We missed out on the metric. We have to buy the set. We're getting down to the power tools. This is a good sign. Look at that badger. We've got that exact same one, but we don't have it in carbon fibre. Everywhere I go there's different DeWalt bits and DeWalt tools that aren't in the other stores. I don't think that was in Lowe's. That is handy for spinning, but for everything. Using this thing just to get around the corners, or with angles. I like it. It's working. You see a lot more Stanley over here with a Made in USA logo, and these straight razor knives. We did pick one of these up from Home Depot, but we just don't have that in the UK. Straight razor knife. Turner McCorknell. Have you seen one of these? I think I might get you this, mate. You can test it out and let me know. Oh, look at this thing as well. This is the same handy cutter. Who's using them in the UK? Is anybody in the UK using straight razors on the site? This is definitely not something we have in the UK. This is just an American thing. This is crack opener. Anyone used a crack opener before? That's not going on the list. I just love the unusual stuff. Look at this thing. They're not reset blades. They are different type of blades. It's got like a trigger on it. What is that about? Is that just purely ergonomic? What in the world is that? $10. I think we need a closer look at that. Yeah, I've got some power tools. Nothing we've not seen. One thing I have already seen though is more of this red Milwaukee Packout. Every single one of these we've got in the UK. Ours are all black with red logos. That is the classic toolbox. That is the classic item. Maybe we should get one of those. And then we can do a proper match up. With that, I think we're done. So let's get paid, get back to the workshop and have a look at it all.
Right, so fresh back from the States and a trip round Ace Hardware. What a cool shop that was. Such a friendly kind of vibe in Ace Hardware. It was a much smaller hardware store than Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff, but they seem to have pretty much similar amount of stuff. You know, they had everything pretty jammed in to make sure they were using all the space. Good range of stuff and some interesting tools that I'd not seen before. What the heck's this thing? Drain Weasel. Is that not one of the most American sounding things? From the makers of Flexi-Snake, Drain Weasel. That isn't even in the top 5. That's a bonus. I'll stick that over there. So I've got a big bag of goodies here. There's probably like 9 or 10 things in there, but I've grouped a few of them together to give me a top 5 tools from Ace Hardware that you can't get in the UK. And as another bonus is this Milwaukee Packout. So we've got a load of Milwaukee Packout boxes here already. These are available in the UK, but not in red. So hopefully we can do a comparison, that one and the UK version, see if it's just the colour that's different. And yeah, check that our shadow foam inserts fit inside these boxes. So with all that being said, let me show you the top 5 tools from Ace Hardware, starting with number 5. So, number 5 is 2 saws. 2 saws, sounds like a movie. And this one is called the Superior Tool Mini Hacksaw. Straight away caught my eye, just an unusual shape. I have no idea what the use case is for this, where you need like this pointy hacksaw with, usually obviously they curve up here. It's very traditional, a junior hacksaw, isn't it? Made in the US as well, which adds to the intrigue. You know, a lot of these tools, something simple like this is quite quickly shipped out to China or Taiwan or somewhere in Asia. This is still made in the States. It's not Ace Hardware branded, no, it's Superior Tool is the brand. Based in Illinois. Quirky little thing. I'm looking for inspiration. It doesn't say, it says for cutting wood, plaster, steel, brass. Same as any other junior hacksaw, but a quirky shape. And talking about quirky shapes, there's an even more quirky saw. So this is like a pistol grip. They call it a Keyhole saw. This is by Ace. This is Ace's own brand. And it's got like a trigger grip on it. So I don't know if that's kind of like the inclination of the Americans. Everything's got to have a trigger. Maybe that's the comfortable grip for everybody over there. But it's quirky. It's just got like reset blades, but they are slightly different to a reset blade. So I don't know where I'd get refills for this thing. Who's buying this and what's the application for it? They're definitely quirky. I've never seen them in the UK. And this is where I need your guys' help. Have you seen these? And if you're from the States, do you own one? What do you use it for? Because it's super intriguing. They're both nicely made. This is a nice quality thing. It's solid. It actually does feel quite good in the hand. If you've got problems like carpal tunnel, that might be a quite nice grip, to be fair. But it doesn't say anything about carpal tunnel on it. Another little Easter egg I noticed on this, and I've never seen this before, it says warning, cancer and reproductive harm. There's no warnings about that you can cut yourself, slice a finger off with this saw. It's just straight to cancer. Warning, cancer and reproductive harm. And I'm wondering, is it made of lead or what is going on with that? Literally just straight to cancer on this one. I don't even know if I want to take this thing out of the packet. I don't know if it's like radioactive or what. So they are definitely 2 tools we don't have in the UK, and that's 5. Let me show you number 4. Right, so on to 4, and these pair are absolute corkers. You're gonna love these. There was a few versions of kind of cork smoothing tools in America. I think they had 3 or 4, but these 2 stood out as clearly little individual companies or little mad innovations. This one is from Newborn, the Cork Buddy. So Newborn, American company based in Maryland. It just had something intriguing about it. Now I'm always about, when I'm smoothing out silicone, it's always lick the thumb or lick the finger and just go across. Never really a big fan of these, but it's novel and it's not in the UK, so we'll have a look at it. Same with this thing. the Allway Caulk tool. Now, to be fair, I have seen similar things to this, but not this exact one. I've seen similar ones where they've got like, this is like a scraping off tool, but then this is like a silicone smoothing tool. It's called the Allway. It's a US company based in New York, probably made in China. Does it say that? Doesn't, to be fair. Stainless blade, innovation since 1935. I love that. They've been around a long time, and there we go. It does say made in China, but you know, hey ho, most things are. So that is number 4. What's number 3? Right, so number 3, have you ever heard the term box cutter? I always thought that box cutter was just what Americans called like a standard utility knife. This is what I have, just a normal parallelogram or like a little trapezoid utility knife blade. And I thought they just called it a box cutter. But it turns out they actually have something called a box cutter. Sadly, this one says handy cutter. But I saw these in a few shops and they were called box cutter. And it's basically a sliver of metal with a razor blade on the end. And the razor blades that we have, because usually we have them in a little scraper, you see them in cleaning glass, you'll have a little scraper. They've got these everywhere, box cutters. This is a US made Stanley, which in itself is pretty unusual. All the Stanley you find in the UK will all be made in Asia somewhere. In the States, you do see a fair bit of Stanley that's US made, and I do think they're bringing back more and more US production of certain things, because I can see a couple of the brands, DeWalt and Milwaukee the same, are bringing a few things back into the US. So it's a Stanley knife, but again, it's holding razor blades rather than standard utility blades. They're calling it a retractable carpet knife, and it's just something I've never seen in the UK. So if you're a carpet fitter, have you ever seen one of these? Carpet knife, retractable carpet knife. Because if you haven't, I can imagine it's been designed for some purpose. You can see it's offset, so it might be easier to get in on the carpet. And that's why I love going to different countries and finding out what tools they have, because you never know. That could be a game changer for someone who's doing carpet every day and they're using the traditional Stanley knife, and then this thing comes along and it just makes your life easier because it's extending the reach of the knife and stuff. So again, quirky tool, never seen it in the UK. We don't see these box cutters either. And that is number 3. So let me show you number 2. Right, so number 2 is a pair of items from DeWalt. In the US, they have a lot more DeWalt stuff. Every store has got a range of DeWalt accessories. They've got a broader range of hand tools. It was pretty fascinating to see how extensive the DeWalt range of stuff is. I think it's pretty limited here in the UK. If you flick through the Screwfix catalogue, you don't see stuff like this. Now, you might be able to find it online if you go digging around, and we will put product codes for these things down in the description or the descriptions, and then you can have a Google search, see if you can find it. We spoke about this item in our tips video a few videos back, all my top tips in one place. When we're smoothing out foam with the smoothing spinner, I mentioned that you could use the drill on the side and then just use one of these flexible extensions to make your life easier. Well, this one is kind of like over and above your traditional. These Flexi-Extension things aren't new. You can get them, they're all different versions. They're quite cheap on Amazon. But this DeWalt version here has got like a right angle head on the end. You've got like some gearing here, some right angle gearing, plus the flexible element to it. It's got a handle that goes on the end. You can really get into some kind of hard to reach places and hold the drill totally out of the way. And added to that is this. This is a standard 1/4 inch bit holder. It's magnetic and it's got this kind of like little pivoting end, and sometimes you don't need like crazy amounts of flexibility. You just need to be offset slightly. You know, you've bought something, you've got to put a screw in it, and the item itself is blocking the screw hole. I was mounting a bracket the other day and it was like the bracket itself was a U and you can't flip and get the screw in. Now something like that would have been ideal. Like I say, I've not seen it in the UK. Pretty quirky, and the two of those together make number 2. So let me show you my top item. So what is the top item? This thing, or rather these things. Now, bit of a curveball on these, because until I open them and try them, I don't technically know if they could be trash. These could drop down to 5th place or 6th, or even in the bin. They could be terrible, but being an electrician, I love an electrical gadget. I like gadgets anyway. This one here is a voltage tester, very similar to a volt stick. But rather than it being a volt stick where you literally hold it up against the item and it's detecting voltage, this thing has actually got 2 pins on it, so you can give something a proper test. That could be quite cool. And then this thing is a circuit integrity tester. We'd call it a continuity tester, so checking like a fuse, something like that. It's got no readout on it, so it's just going to beep, I'm guessing. That's for voltage, that's for continuity. So that's number 1, and before I open them all and have a proper look at them, let me show you the bonus.
You've won another Brucie bonus.
And that is the aforementioned Drain Weasel. So as you walk around hardware stores in the States, there's quite a lot of quirky little products. This is made by Flexi-Snake Drain Weasel. We've got the angriest looking weasel you've ever seen. It's called a hair clog kit. Spins 360 degrees, eliminate hair clogs, made in the US, patented, and I got a pack of refills too. I like to pick up and support the smaller little innovative products and not just stuff like DeWalt and the actual Ace Hardware brand. I'm always on the lookout for quirky little innovations that, you know, I don't know if this was on Dragon's Den. It's the kind of thing you can imagine was on Dragon's Den, but it's a company based in Illinois. It's made in the US. I think I'll only truly know how decent it is if I go away and give it a test. So I'll find a clog drain, wherever that might be. I'm sure someone in the family has got a clog drain and I can give it a test and see how decent it is. Right, here we go. Here's a drain. It is pretty clean to be fair, but we'll give it a bit of a weaseling. Get the old weaselly end down there. And obviously it's going straight down into a trap really, but get the old 360 spin going. Gonna do any bits for us? Oh, hello. Flipping magic, Morris. That's what it's like having 3 girls. That's the bonus. I don't think I'm putting that in foam though, but let's get all these opened and have a proper look at them. Right, so I've opened all the tools. First things first, this knife is pretty nifty. I like it. The blade twists onto it like that, but you can also put it on the top. So it might make it easy if you are using it for kind of like ergonomic reasons or dexterity reasons. You can cut sideways with it, which is pretty cool. That's all I've got to say about it really. It is literally just a pad saw with a side handle. So that's pretty quirky. This is smart. I don't know why they had that cancer warning on there. It just seems like a standard hacksaw to me. And obviously you have to just squeeze it to kind of let the pressure off the blade to change the blade. So nothing too unusual about that. Doesn't smell weird either. Just smells normal. No smell really to it. This is quite cool. The newborn Caulk buddy, something I noticed while I was unpacking it, is it's got a silicone tube. You know when you cut the tip off a tube and then you use half the tube? I don't know about you, but I usually just stick a screw down the end. This comes with 2 caps. Stick that on the end of the silicone tube on the nozzle and it'll blank it off. Whether it's better than a screw, probably is better than a screw, let's be honest. And it also clips to the top of the mastic gun as well. It's got a clip on it, so you can kind of mount it on the top. So it's basically just a thumb extension to keep your fingers clean. That is more my vibe than this thing. I mean, now I've had a better look at this, it is very similar to other things I've seen. It's got like a scraper on the back. I think that is mainly for removing cork, for scraping it all back. It's slightly different to this, which is just for applying cork or silicone. This is kind of a multi-tool. This thing's pretty interesting. I don't understand what the deal is with it. Why would you not just want a utility blade in there? It's got this special blade. It took a bit of flipping knocking around just to try and get the blade in and get it all set up properly. I mean, it's super sharp, but I mean, you'd expect that. And utility blades are pretty sharp anyway. But we'll do a bit of the old classic. Sharp, as you'd expect. I don't know where I'd get refills for it in the UK. And then this is the same, this box cutter. One thing I quite like about the box cutter, it did say this on the packet, but only very, very small. This is made in the US. And I thought that this was paper. It looks like a paper sleeve, doesn't it? It's actually a metal sleeve, and that's how you change the blade. You take the metal sleeve off and that just sits literally in the top and the corner just pokes out. So obviously you can rotate it around to have 2 fresh sharp blades. It's made in the US. It's got it stamped on both parts, the sleeve and the metal body. Yeah, nifty little thing. You can't really put that in your pocket because the blade's there, and if you pull that up to cover it, it's literally just gonna, every time it's gonna fall back down. And a bit of a mad one that. I can't, maybe that's why we don't have them in the UK. It just feels dangerous. Wherever you put that, there's a risk of having that exposed blade. It's more like a fixed blade than it is. This is almost like, gives you that sense of, oh, I've covered up the blade now, but it's just gonna fall down. So mixed opinion on that. I think it's quite a clever idea and it's certainly better than I expected, but I don't want one. I won't be using it, I can tell you. So this is pretty nifty too. I put the handle on the side. Getting good vibes from this already. Got like the 1/4 inch standard bit of attachment at the end. It just feels solid, so I like that. This is quite cool. Good thing and a bad thing about this. So first good thing is you can move that sleeve up and then it becomes like a pivoting drill piece. And then if you move that down, it goes fixed. That's great. Negative, you can't get the flipping bit out. Has anyone got one of these in America? Because I had to get pliers and it still was really stiff. And when I tried to put in another bit, the bit that came in this, I could hardly get it in. It's a great idea, but blooming hell, that would quickly do my head in. As soon as you start actually screwing screws with this, and you know what these bits get, they get a bit more jammed in there, you're probably never going to get that out again. So not sure on that. Which leads me to these things. Right, so I've given these a quick test. They actually already had batteries in. This one doesn't have batteries. This one had a couple of like penny batteries. And yeah, let me show you. So this one is the continuity tester, and it's pretty simple. What I do like about it is most of these continuity testers don't have a little crocodile clip on the end like this. If you were checking loads of little things in a row, multiple fuses, whatever, it's just quite a handy little thing, really. So I like that. That's definitely exactly what I expect. It's nice and bright, doesn't make a beep noise, but maybe you don't want a beep noise. This is the voltage tester. So I've rigged up a little bit of power here, just simply. We've got voltage on these. And if I stick that in there, then that's the one thing. The wire could do with being a fraction longer on this. But it should, there you go, you can see it lights up. So there's power in there. There's no beep, and the light's not very bright, which doesn't give you much confidence. With this thing here, it lights up super bright, and it just feels like, yeah, that's okay. This thing is just, it's only got a tiny little orange dim bulb. It's good if you were just kind of like trying to trace a fault quickly, just buzzing through a panel. When I was working in factories fixing machinery, having a couple of tools on you to quickly just buzz through and figure out, okay, that's the safety door that's not closed or whatever, something along those lines, something quite simple. The tool that you've got with you is better than any tool, isn't it? Yeah, there's always gonna be a better version, but if you've not got it with you, then it doesn't matter how good it is. I still rate it. I still like it as a number 1. Could have been better though, but that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? It could have been better, but it was only cheap, and they are still deserving of the number 1 spot. So that's all the 5 items. We're gonna be putting them all inside the Milwaukee Packout box in red. And while we're looking at that, boom, that is the Milwaukee in black too. So I've got one of each, and the main thing is, do the inserts that go with the black European box fit in the red one? Now they should do, because from first looks, they do look the exact same. All we've got different is black latches on the red box, red latches on the black box. I lost a couple of totes from this one. Let's drop the inserts in. This is a 30mm red insert. Yeah, and we can see on the back it's lined up perfectly, on the front it's lined up perfectly. I have got a stack of 2. So there we go. I do like it in red. What's your preference? Are you happy with the black with red detail Milwaukee in the UK, or would you prefer this red version? I am quite taken with the red Milwaukee. I feel like there's a lot of black toolboxes, plain black toolboxes on the market, so having a bright red one, I mean, they're my colours and I love black and red, so I do quite like that one. Let's do a layout. Stop the clock. Probably one of the quickest layouts I've ever done. So we've got a bit of a theme going now, and I'm loving it. We go to a shop, we find out all the quirky tools, interesting things that we don't have in the UK or that I've not seen before, and then I give you a quick demo on how you cut it into shadow foam. So I've done a layout. I'll cut it all in something like that, but the idea of shadow foam is you can lay it out any way you want it. These inserts sort of straight in that Packout box, but we make inserts for every single branded toolbox that there is. You can also buy shadow foam in value packs, in large, medium sheets, in all different custom sizes, and the process for getting your tools organized couldn't be simpler, and I'm going to show you right now. So all we have to do is cut round the items, peel back the foam, make the inserts, and to do that, all you need is one of our cutting kits. Now these come with most orders on the website. It's got everything you need to do this job, including the anti-cut glove. So I always wear an anti-cut glove on my left hand, because that's the hand that I hold the tools with, and in the other hand I use the scalpel, which comes in the kit. It comes with 5 blades. Make sure your blade sharp, and then all you do is place the item where you want it to go, and then just trace cut around the item. You just follow it like a pencil, holding it nice and square, and you just trace cut in the shape. That's all we're doing. It doesn't matter how deep you go in, you're just making sure you're capturing that silhouette on the foam. Once you've gone all the way around the item, you move it out of the way, and then you press on the foam to expose the cut you've made, and you follow it back round. You just want to make sure you've gone all the way down. And this item here is about 25mm, its deepest section here, 25-30mm. So we want to make sure, I mean, this is a 30mm insert, so I'm going to cut down about 25mm. So we should end up with the item being slightly proud of the foam, which is ideal really. So once we've cut all the way around, you then just dig your finger down one end. Doesn't matter if you're starting over here or here, and you're just trying to feel for a little kind of hook, a little bit of a layer that you can hook your finger underneath. You're just chasing the peel with your finger all the way along. You're not peeling it at one end like this, you're literally chasing it along and ploughing out the material. You can do this one layer at a time, or like you can see here, I've peeled out about 2 layers there, all in one go. And that's it, the item fits nice and snug in that spot. You're gonna know if it's missing, you're gonna know where it lives, it's got its own home now. And I'm gonna use the exact same process on all the other items. So yeah, let's get to it. So there we go, all cut it all fits in there, nice and even. And obviously it's showing you the process and how easy it is. So you can imagine if you had your actual toolkit, you could really condense this down, fit a lot more in, but let's chuck it in the case. Obviously we've got 2 layers of 30 here. I only really use the top layer, but we can bulk it up. Our foam inserts come in twin packs, so 2 50mm or 2 30mm. So I could get 2 layers in there. I could put some handles on and have 2 layers of tools, but there we go, all done. And that looks pretty smart. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Which of these tools would you say was the number one? There's a few quirky ones here. I am sticking with my number one, which is these electrical tools. Depending on what job you do, maybe something different. I mean, this, to be fair, that could have been number one. I think that is clever. Next time I'm doing some foam cutting, I need a smoothing spinner. I will be getting out. And before we go, let's do one of our giveaway prize draws. So this is for the OBI tool hunt video. So if you haven't seen that one, go and check it out here. That's just hit 163,000 views, which is mental. So I'm thinking there's gonna be a lot of comments on that one. And just as a reminder, this was for the old Vera tool toot fart bags. So there was a screwdriver in this, there was a few other bits, and then the little OBI Zolstock in an OB bag. So it is like a little swag bag. So that's the prize. We've got 5 of them to go for. I've entered the video into pickawinner.co. Let's fetch all of the comments. Let's see how many we've got. So 1,088 comments. Let's pick our first winner. And we've got Chris Leaks 3890, and he says, I love these videos. Go to Turkey, they have awesome DIY stores. Cactus and Bauhaus. Okay, this one is German, but the amount of tools they had on sale was stupid. I'd say 100% the extending bit holster. I'd have one each side of my tool vest just because they are so damn cool. That was one of my favorites actually. That's behind me here, the extending bit holster. This thing was one of my all-time favorites. If I can get one of those with shadow foam logo on, I will, but I'm struggling to find any of those. But congratulations, Chris Leaks, you've won the first one. Let's pick the next winner. Chris Osborne 8800 says, the lucky bags remind me of being a kid and buying them for sweets and a toy. We had a store in my village called Day and Night, and they had a little like goodie bag like this. As a kid, you just can't, as soon as it says a lucky bag, mystery bag, you gotta get involved, don't you? You gotta get one. These things, I've never seen a tool mystery bag in all my life, so that was a pretty cool pickup. I'm glad we found that. Next winner, we've got Stuart Morgan 9327. He says, love the secret tool idea. I do like Wearer tools. It is pretty cool tool toot. I wonder if they bring that to the UK and kind of switch it up each year, do different ones. Right, next one, we've got Large William 123. He says, 10 years ago, I got myself the 12-piece Makita power tool bag because it was the most popular at the time. They haven't done any innovation or done anything remotely new in all that time. Makita fell off. I think Makita would have something to say about that. I've seen a few innovations from Makita. They don't do much with hand tools, but we have got hand tool stuff coming soon. You might see this panel behind me. There's some quirky new Makita hand tools in there. So they are trying to compete, and I know they've actually brought out a full 40-volt range, and that's relatively recent. So, Large William, I'm glad you're a Makita man. I'm a Makita man. I started on Makita power tools. They've got some stuff. I think it's because Milwaukee are kind of going so hard on innovation, and so are DeWalt with all their stuff. It makes Makita look a little bit quiet, doesn't it? So I kind of partially agree with you there. Right, last one. We've got Gary2632, and he says, who doesn't like a lucky dip? And that's exactly why we chose it for the giveaway, a lucky bag, absolutely. So there we go, congratulations to all the winners. We'll message you all, get your addresses and ship this stuff out to you. If you've missed out, don't worry, we've got loads of other giveaways live on the channel. You can go back through all of the videos following the Obi video, and we've got giveaways in quite a lot of them. So you can go back, watch those videos, drop us a comment on them, and then you'll be entered. And then in the future videos, we draw the winners just like this. So it's nice and simple, everyone can enter, everyone can get involved. Make sure you subscribe, you've got to do that. Like the video, it really helps us out. And once again, a big thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video, our very first sponsor. Check them out at the link in the description and use the code SHADOWFOAM to get 4 months free. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.